2, 3, 4.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Wait for it. Bit of overdrive. Of course, what you really want to hear is what it sounds like when we engage this. Juicy!
That was, I mean, yeah.
Well, welcome back to Andertons TV.
Welcome back, Covey.
Mr. Pete.
Covey, Mr. Lee.
Mr. Pete, we
Mr.
are,
Covey.
yes, at Andertons Studios today, the home of all the gear reviews that you could ever need. And if you want to stay completely up to date with everything that's new in the guitar world, then please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Oh, you get it all in there.
We've just given away another prize at the sort of 860,000 subscriber rate. There'll be another prize at 870, 890. Did I miss out 880? I think
890, 880,
so,
and
yeah,
900.
All you got to do is subscribe. Every 10,000 subscribers, we pick out a winner. You could be the very first subscriber we ever had back in 2007, or you could be the most recent one. Anyway,
out of a hat.
Million subscribers, someone wins a clon. Anyway, right, let's talk about today's product. Positive Grid.
Very positive.
Been around they were probably one of the very earliest guitar amp plug-in pieces of software ever, particularly at the more affordable end.
I seem
with
to remember
a product called Bias. And then, I don't know now, 3 or 4 years ago, they brought out the Spark amplifier, which is the one that sort of sits the full width of this cabinet. They've sold hundreds and hundreds of thousands of those amplifiers. Yep. More recently, you've had the mini version of it, and then even more recently than that, you've had the Go version. Yeah. You can see videos on all of those amps by clicking in the links below or checking up there. They are, without doubt, the most popular desktop type amplifier that Andertons sells. All the technology in these desktop guitar amplifiers is what's called near-field speaker technology. So designed to work and sound best when you're sitting quite close to it, using it at quite low volume. Yep. So even though some of them will say they're 50 watts or whatever like that, it's not the same as 50 watts in this type of amplifier, which is designed to throw the sound into a bigger space so an audience can hear you.
Faces.
So what do you do if you've got a Spark amplifier and all of a sudden you're going, oh, well, I got some buddies, we want to jam, maybe there's a drummer, maybe I'm going to take it to school. What do you do?
Whatever.
Right?
Yeah.
You do this.
You buy one of these.
Which is a brand new product from Positive Grid. It's a 140 watt powered extension cabinet. Powered meaning the amplifier is built into this cabinet. It's what's called an FRFR cabinet, Mr. Pete.
Yes,
which stands for full range, flat response, or flat response, full range.
It's about the same thing.
Which means that, again, it's designed for products, and again, this is why we've got the Valeton GP200 on the floor. It's designed for products where you simply want to amplify an already speaker emulated sound. Yeah.
So anything like this,
you
can put into this, and it just there's just more, right? It looks really cool, man.
I think it looks cool. That intro clip that we did, all we literally did was we used a room microphone here so you were hearing this mic whilst Pete was playing and I was messing with the app, and then we just plugged it in.
Which it comes with this little stereo, beautiful little made.
Yeah.
Looks like
so let's obviously we want to hear this, and the bulk of the demo should be hearing it, but I guess it's important to perhaps just talk about some of its features. So 140 watts FRFR, that's quite loud, okay? It's always complicated, I think, to compare valve amplifiers and certain solid-state amplifiers to other ones. But I think, you know, this is loud enough for, you know, jams, taken to school, small gigs, little rehearsals, that kind of things.
Plugging music into, playing Bluetooth from here to here.
100%.
At a party, kid party, whatever. Clever.
I think one of my colleagues at Andertons said he thinks that a lot of people will see this as a stereo option. So they might buy 2 of these because they're highly affordable and very small.
How much are they?
£289, including free shipping and VAT in the UK. So a pair of those, you know, just over £500. And that would give you then your 280 watt stereo rig, right? So all of a sudden
stereo is the key, right? It's not that it's louder, it's just stereo that's the key with that.
So I've got a photograph of the back of this cabinet, and hopefully you're seeing this on screen now as well, just to talk about. The first couple of features at the top are very much aimed at people who've got a Spark amplifier at first. So that little mini jack input at the top left-hand corner is designed, and you get the cable with the speaker cabinet, is designed to attach your Spark, doesn't matter whether you've got the big one, the medium one, or the small one, direct to the powered cab. The clever bit here, this USB-C and DC output sockets, again, are designed to power your Spark. So all you've got is one mains input going into the cab, and then a sort of, you link it, if you like, to your Spark to power it. Underneath that are controls that you might use if you were using a product like the GP200 or whatever, connecting it to it. So you've got 2 inputs that are dual purpose XLR or jack.
So this has got XLR, so you can run XLRs into here.
You've got a volume control. The contour control there is a little bit like a loudness control on your hi-fi. So at low volumes, it'll drop a bit of the mid-range out and give you a bit of a boost at the bass end and the treble end. So get some nice fat tones at lower volumes.
Remember that?
Yeah, the output socket that you see there is so that you can continue to have another feed. So you could have your stage volume, if you like, coming out of here. Soundman gets a feed for an emulated sort of sound for the front of house, and then you've got your line out volume. Right at the very bottom is your on-off switch and a mains input, and you'll also see actually just underneath that output socket there, you've got a ground lift to get rid of any unwanted ground noise. And
there's also a little switch here right underneath this mini jack cable that switches between the input of the mini jack and the, you know, XLR cord underneath. XLR cord,
so
XLR input.
I always think that, you know, volume in these YouTube videos is always quite hard for you to perceive, so you just got to take our word for it. You might want to look at the decibel meter in the corner there to get a bit of a relative idea as to how loud the difference is between the two. But let's just go through a few of the presets, or Pete's designed some presets on the Spark here. We've got clean, driven, heavier sort of tones, so you can see how the cab reacts. And I think with each one, we'll do the here's what this sounds like on its own, here's what it sounds like this. It's a shame, actually. Day one, we've only actually got one cabinet, so we can't show you what a stereo rig would sound like, but we are going to plug the GP200 in. I think, actually, honestly, I think it'll be as popular for people with products like a GP200 as it will with Spark users.
Absolutely, and I think what you mentioned is that you can actually get a cable that splits. So this splits into 2, and then you can put even this stereo into 2 cabs. I mean,
it'd be monster. It'd be monster. You'll be seeing Metallica going out soon with their positive grid Spark amplifiers and just like 35 different. Maybe not. Anywho,
not. But saying that, it makes some good metal tones. I'm not going to lie.
So now we're just going to literally go through some presets. You can see what I'm doing because I'm going to screen record on my phone. But here we go, and we just literally will be switching between this on its own and this plugged into this. Take it away, Mr. Pete.
I mean, that's quiet. Here it comes with the cab. Do some drive, just
okay.
Quick,
so just put a drive on there.
I mean, I get it. I get it. There's the fun thing to say is that if you don't want to play loud in your house, then I'm not. You know what I mean?
I agree.
You can still turn it down. I mean, you can still turn it much further down, but
you know, this is not.
You don't have to. No.
This is not positive grid going, oh, by the way, if you want this to sound any good in your house, you need to buy this.
Yeah, no.
It's not that at all. These sound amazing at low volumes in your house. This is very much like an expansion thing. Anyway, look, let's go to the next one. So here's a lead sound, but again, let's just hear the lead sound. AC boost lead sound.
Yeah, I think I put some overdrive.
Okay, we'll put some. Gosh! It's funny, actually. You know, we've criticised particularly the bigger Spark for having a slightly unnatural, over-the-top bass end on it. Which, in fairness to Positive Grid, in the release that they did, the firmware update release they did earlier in 2023, they did actually address, and it's better. I think when you've got a cab like this, you don't, that bass end doesn't feel unnatural. It's all of a sudden, it's like, that is how it is supposed to sound.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway.
But I would probably say if you might want to add, either you want to add some low end in your presets to this, or subtract some low end in this, because you need to find you'll probably do like presets here for this and then presets for that. I would do that.
Yeah, you probably might.
Because
you want to fine tune.
You need more low end in the speakers for this, so small.
Okay, right? So here's Pete's plexiglass preset. And here is
plexiglass.
Oh. Now we've got this set about half volume.
Yeah, and there's more volume here.
That's true.
So you could turn that up more and that up more.
I think again, it's one of the characteristics of Class D power modules is, unlike valve amplifiers where the more you drive it, almost the better it sounds.
Yeah.
Class D amplifiers like to find that kind of like halfway, 2/3 of the way up goes like, that's where I'm happy. It's a bit like a transistor, radio or whatever. You know if you turn it all the way up, you're probably going to get some unpleasant distortion.
Yeah, where tubes definitely make that easier. But I think loud is just
loud is good.
Loud is just good, isn't it?
So look, really, really cool with this. We'll plug into the GP200. We'll put the weight on the screen now, just so that you guys know. But this is incredibly lightweight. We did notice, just being, that my only real criticism of it has marked quite easily on the top here. So I would suggest, if the intention is to actually own this and then
keep it nice,
actually stick it in the back of the car and all that kind of stuff, it does feel like it's marking up maybe more than an amp with like a heavier Tolex on it. Yeah. But it's really, really lightweight and compact. It's a 10-inch speaker, by the way, if we didn't say that, with a pair of domed tweeters in it. Okay. That's where the FRFR thing comes. That's how you get all of that natural high frequency that you don't get out of a guitar cabinet. Yeah. Anyway, right, should we listen to this now?
Yeah, we should.
Cool. We've got some clean sounds, or the next patch up, I think it's just like a less driven.
Straight out of the box. So,
yeah, it just presets. The next one I think is clean, isn't it?
Right,
next one is clean.
Hey, sweetie. Sounds great, man.
I mean,
fine. It's great.
It almost doesn't really matter whether you've got a Spark or a floor unit. You know, it's
no,
like
you've got
that's
an M90 or a GB200 or whatever you might have.
Couple of things. So the quoted frequency response of the cab is 45 hertz up to 20,000 hertz. So they quote that it's fine for bass or acoustic or guitar or whatever.
And vocals, because you can, vocals, say that 2 times, so you can plug you can put a mic in there as well.
So I mean, I think you've got to probably have some realistic expectations about how much bass you'll get out of this if you actually want to start using it as a bass amplifier. It's not Bluetooth, so bear in mind, obviously this is Bluetooth, so when Pete talked about streaming music to it, absolutely you've got to stream to the Spark and have the Spark connected to the cab. So, but I'm not really sure there's a great deal else to tell you. It's I suppose ultimately when it comes to FRFR cabs, as a more perhaps there are users out there going, oh, I've got a slightly more pro rig, so maybe I've got my Quad Cortex or my Kemper or whatever. What are my options? And look, we shouldn't. The only bit I suppose with the positive grid that's unique is the clever way in which you can attach it to Spark. Sort of beyond that, you could look at Laney or Fender or Headrush or
Kemper does one, and there's lots
that do their own powered cabs. I don't know that there's probably the Headrush is the only one that gets even close to this price-wise. And the big criticism of the Headrush is it sort of looks like a PA speaker, whereas at least with this, it looks like a guitar cabinet.
Looks like something you've blown that up with a bicycle pump.
So, look, I mean, I really like these. I don't know exactly when this video is going to go out, but I know the first shipment of these speakers into the UK is early December 2023.
Okay. It's cool, man.
It's I mean, if just 10% of Spark owners decide they want to own a Spark cab, my guess is these are going to be out of stock in most places. Quick. But there you go. Look, get your order in, see what you think. I really got nothing bad to say about that. I mean, it's a great little solution.
You know what? It's going to look great if you have the big size on top of that. It's going to look like a head and a cab.
Yeah,
that's what's going to look. That's going to look like an amp.
I've got a feeling even the beading joins up.
But there you go. That's going to look cool in your office or in your, because otherwise it's just another amp in the 212, but it's the same size, isn't it? Almost.